that, I go on to my friend, Mr. Sudheer Polavarapu, to speak from Fluentgrid. Please.
Good afternoon. I try to keep it very short and focus on the point what is that I'm going to present here. So it's not about communications, it's not about completely on MI, it's much more than that. So this is the start of what we are seeing, the advancement of technology adoption into the utilities and where it can lead us to in a way, and what are our focus areas going to be into the future. So the topic is Utility Operations Center, where I'm going to share a few thoughts about it, what is it, before that the need for it, and all few more details about the transformation approach, how it can be a platform for utility transformation. More forward looking, but I would like to share a few thoughts because the time is up, and I mean to say it's time for us to look in that direction when we are making that baby steps into the technology adoption. So before briefly getting into the details about us, we are Fluentgrid, touching more than 200 million lives around the world with our smart utility and city products, and seamlessly helping utilities to transform, in their transformation journey. We have our flagship CIS and MDMS products, Gartner listed in their respective categories for the last few consecutive years. So we have portfolio of products for smart utilities. Yes, so I spend more time here discussing the need, and then everything fall in place, if I am right. The need is more and more consumers are becoming conscious about quality of the service what utilities are providing and the customer experience, and given the distributed generation around the corner, and it's already into the adoption right now. And then more and more ways they are looking at different experience from the utility. It's not going to work in the same way as, okay, it's like a monopoly approach. I don't think that model is going to work going forward, because consumers are again becoming prosumers, and that entire landscape is changing, and it's changing fast. So this is primary, one of the need. And the second, which is more important, so utilities started adopting customer-centric models. For example, smart metering, customer-centric smart metering models, where customers are given a choice to choose the way they want to use the energy, when they want to use the energy, even going forward from which source they want to use the energy. And given that, the earlier models, which never kept, I would say maybe to an extent, majority extent, they never kept customer at the center of their decision making. In fact, it's part of the decision making, but they never kept customer at the center of the decision making. And that is going to come into picture more and more, that kind of models come into picture. So the earlier system adoption approach and the adoption of systems doesn't really work in a way with this model. So with this kind of a customer-centric nature. So there is a shift there. So that also to be taken into account. And given these two, so managing day-to-day business and technology operations and people process stuff require a different approach. It doesn't work in a siloed approach. Most often they go down the line and customer will be impacted, and in the run overall service, quality of the service. So that requires a different approach overall. And optimal performance, it will boil down to the kind of actionable information operator is going to have in his hand at that moment while working on a service incident or any incident that is impacting the service. So primarily the need is arising with the shift happening in the overall landscape and the technology and even the process point of view. So with that, there is a greater need for an integrated command control and communication solution for utilities, where utilities can have a unified view of entire their operations portfolio. They can start with key use cases, but eventually extend it to the use cases which are going to be impactful for the operations point of view, and then have that entire OT and IT convergence in a way utility staff can work on the priority stuff which is needed for the utility service, quality of the utility service, with the information, with the actionable information into their hands. And that is going to be the key. So operations center typically, I mean, just if you take a ideal flow, any utility system, for example, take billing and customer care system, if it identifies a simple anomaly into the billing, no need to apply machine learning techniques, even a simple anomaly based on some kind of a data comparison, if it identifies an anomaly, that can be fed as an incident to operations center, and there can be a stipulated standard operating procedure configured against that, where automatically action is triggered and workforce is, incident is allotted to the workforce so that they can immediately go onto the field based on the standard operating procedure and take the necessary actions and come back. So it looks very simple for so many of us, but in reality it touches various silos within utility. And in reality it touches various silos. And most often we find an anomaly in the billing and it will go down the line, why it is happening, and mostly whenever there is a need we make a visit and do it, but it doesn't really go through that closed loop mechanism to address it and see what is the impact and see how it can be improved or corrected. That entire learning process and closed loop mechanism to close the incident is completely missing here. So that's what this integrated command control and communication solution for utility operations center brings in. Oh, sorry, almost like, yeah. So I just take 1 minute more and to sum it up. So these are the foundational steps which go into the behind the total ideology of that operations center. So identifying the incidents which are impacting the service and acting them and measuring them and continuously doing this across silos within utilities. So doing that across silos within utilities require a system of innovation where this utility operations center is going to play that role. And these are core platform and use cases typically we can envision. At the core of the platform, you can have that incident management, you can have the analytics, applying that advanced analytics concepts around the data models utilities typically have, and application integration, system configurations, and even the video surveillance on various asset levels, and multi-channel communication. Some of these forms the core of the platform, while they are very utility-centric use cases can be realized from KPI management to revenue assurance to customer relations use cases, and even supply chain use cases, especially with demand response and other contemporary use cases we get into with AMI. All this can be realized with this. And this is just an integrated view how it looks like within utilities across various systems, and how utility operations center sits at the top as a system of innovation to provide that continuous evolution and transformation which is needed for the insights into the transformation which is needed by any utility. So these are the benefits. Typically, utility gains operation control first. I'm sure you agree with me, operations is one of the complex area for utilities, and gaining control is definitely a need. So this is one area. First, immediately we can get control onto the operations, especially the key focus areas which we want to target. And then eventually it will lead into efficiency and continuous success, because we get to know that what to work on continuously. And adoption approach, adoption approach, I would like to say one thing. Data is important while we are evolving. Without data, we can't evolve. And it's not that we can't evolve, it's difficult to evolve. So we need to make sure that in the adoption approach, data is critical and captured and eventually, adopted. So we have Actelligence platform for this, and yeah, sorry, I took more time.
No problem. No, fantastic, Sudheer. Sorry that you had to rush through, but I'm sure we'll have a lot more questions on this utility command and control center. Thank you so much.
Yeah.